come and make focaccia with me for the first time, this is an overnight recipe, so please stick around if you would like to see how I made this. So I first go in with 420ml of warm water. As I'm using dry yeast, this should be between 49 and 55 degrees Celsius. In goes the packet of instant yeast, which is 7 grams, 1 teaspoon of honey, 1 tablespoon of olive oil and some salt before giving that a mix. And I add into this 500 grams of strong white bread flour. I'm just scraping down the bowl before covering it and leaving it to rest for 10 minutes. I'm doing the first of a series of stretch and folds. When you're doing this, you'll want to do this with wet hands so that your hands do not stick to the dough. Then I'm just covering this up for a further 15 minutes. Then I'm doing the second round of stretch and folds, and it's starting to look promising at this stage. Then I cover it one more time for 25 minutes. Now this is the time for the final stretch and folds. So that is 3 stretch and folds in total. Then right after this, I just smoothed down the ball as best I could, drizzled some olive oil before rubbing this over, and I just covered it in cling film before letting it proof in the fridge overnight. I'd say it was in the fridge for about 14 hours. So I'm actually making 2 recipes with this focaccia dough. So I divided that into 2. As one of them I plan to make a sandwich with, which the recipe is on my page. And the next I am going to make a focaccia pizza. I oiled a 9-inch by 9-inch pan before putting in some parchment paper. Then onto this I put some more olive oil, 2 tablespoons. Really, I probably should have just put 1 because it's quite a small loaf. Then I put the dough in and I'm trying to shape it into a burrito here. Then I am placing it smooth side up before covering it and letting it proof for 4 hours. My kitchen was pretty cold, so I just let it proof in a turned off oven. I returned to my remaining dough, put some olive oil on it, popped some cling film over it, and I put it back in the fridge. Now I'm just preparing my rosemary, which I'm just oiling to make sure that it doesn't burn. Now this is the focaccia after 4 hours of proofing, in with yet some more olive oil, just drizzling that over before dimpling the focaccia, which was very fun to do, and then just topping that with some rosemary and some flaky sea salt and popping that in the oven at 200 degrees fan for 22 to 23 minutes. Depending on your oven, this should be more or less time, but I would say from the 18-minute mark, just keep an eye on it until it has this nice golden brown colour on top. I then use this to make a sandwich, which you can find on my page.